Hi Stampers, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and I'm not sure if I'm the only person this ever happens to, but I feel like, I lost something. I feel like, I'm the only person this happens to, but I have a lot of projects due at the same time. Maybe I just am like late Lucy and I always do everything late, which is a very good possibility. But anyway, I need to make an anniversary card for a 40th anniversary party, so I thought maybe I would pop on here real quick and try to make one. I kind of have an idea. I looked on Pinterest for some suggestions, and I have an idea of maybe what I think I want to do, but I don't know what it's going to turn out like. So I'm going to use the number of years stamp set, and I think I'm going to use the always and forever stamp set. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to incorporate both of them together yet, but I'm also going to use Softly Falling. It's an embossing folder. I'm going to use this on the paper, and then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the 40, and then I'm going to emboss it, and then die cut it, and put that on the front, and then maybe somehow incorporate this onto the inside. And I wonder if I have any. Those are clips. I'm not sure if I have any doilies that are actually white, because that would be pretty, but I have some that are like in colors. I guess I could do that on the other side, but we'll have to see how that goes. So I'm not sure how this card's going to turn out, so bear with me. And what we're going to do to get started is I'm going to get my trimmer, and I'm going to use some thick, very vanilla. And I'm also going to use the new champagne foil sheets, so we'll see how that looks as well. And I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4, and I'm going to score this at 5 1/2. And if you're new, my name is Rachel. And I make cards. I love cards. Cards are so much fun because even when you're on a time crunch, it's still, you'll end up with something really pretty. So I have a blog and a website. My blog is Rachthestamper.com, and you can get any of these supplies and more in my online store. That's Rachthestamper.stampinup.net, and it's open 24/7, so you can shop in your jammies or whatever you want. And you know what? Before I do this, I'm going to cut this down a teeny bit more because I am going to put a foil sheet behind it, a champagne foil sheet. So I'm going to cut this down to 3 3/4. So normally if you do a layer, you'll do your card base at 4 1/4 by 11 and score it 5 1/2. So that'll be this, 4 1/4 by 11. Hello, Faith. Nice to see you today. And then what you do is you would put a layer of 4 by 5 1/4, but I'm actually going to trim this down because I want to add some champagne foil, and this is the first time I've used this. So I have a brand new fresh package. This comes in 2 12 by 12 sheets, and it's kind of a combo between, people have said, like gold and silver. Let's see if I can get this to stick so it doesn't stick to it. It's kind of a gold and silver combo, like a rose gold. Oops, wrong side. But it is very, very pretty. It's got like a rosy goldish sheen to it, so it's a little different. It's probably doesn't look much different on here, but it is very pretty. So I'm gonna cut a piece of that for my layer. So I'm gonna cut this at 4 by 5 1/4, and then I'm gonna just use another I'm gonna use another bit of this for the scrap, or I should say like for a decorative piece behind it, or if I'm going to just emboss them. I haven't decided yet, so I'm going to keep this piece just in case. But what we're going to do is we're going to have this layering here, just like that, and then I'm going to run this through that embossing folder. It is like almost like a hologram. You're right. It really, really, really is. It's very pretty. It's different, for sure. It's not as shiny as the gold and the silver are. But one thing I do want to tell you is, so I got this idea from Sarah. She's the CEO of Stampin' Up, and I don't know if anybody else does this, but what I do is I actually use the 12 by 12, what are they called? The scrapbook covers to keep my pages together. So she said that's how she keeps them organized. I don't have them in a drawer or anything, but what I do is I actually put the paper behind, that way too you know what colors it matches with. So I put this whole thing in, and I do that with the foil paper too, that way it doesn't get scratched up, because it looks much nicer if it's clean and pretty. So I usually will do that afterwards. I just haven't opened this one yet. So let me grab the Big Shot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss the panel. So again, we made this 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to emboss this with the Softly Falling impression folder. And so we're going to go, I might end up putting it upside down. I'm not sure which way I want to put it on the card yet, but let's scoop this out. And I've been using my old platform lately instead of using the new platform that comes with the Big Shot. So you do get, oh, hold on, I got a little crazy here. My plates are a slight bit warped, so I kind of have to fiddle with them. You do get, I'm wondering, you know why? Because I have it on the wrong one. Ding dong. Hold on. Let me do this so I don't break it. That would be really nice to break my Big Shot while I'm making this card. Well, if that wouldn't just top off my week. Oh, let me go this way. Sorry. Technical difficulties. All right, there we go. So when you have, oops. If you have an old Big Shot, it comes with this where you have the tabs to open to put it. But then the new Big Shot comes with, it's just this plate here, and then it has like a little raised spot in the middle, which makes the embossing folder go through a little better. But sometimes I like to use the multi-purpose platform still. I don't really know why. I think it just, sometimes for me it runs a little smoother, so I'll switch back and forth between the two. So this turned out super, super pretty. And then with these, in case this is your first time as well, these always look like this. They'll look pretty like the first 2 times, and then they're pretty much toast from there. So it doesn't mean anything's wrong. They still work the same. What you can do is you can flip them back and forth. It'll keep them a little bit more straight, but it makes a lot of cracking when it goes through as well. That's not a problem. So now we are going to, I think I am going to emboss these. So what I'm going to do, let me grab a little scrap here. This paperwork should be called The Ghost of Projects Past. That's what I'm going to name my grid paper from now on. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the 4 and the 0, and then I'm going to heat emboss them. And you know what? I've been wanting to try this technique for a while, but I haven't done it. So we're going to do it now and see how it turns out. So what you do is you basically just emboss it over and over again until you get like a thicker layer. So we're going to give that a shot. So hopefully, I apologize in advance if this is going to annoy anybody with using this heat tool 50 times. Alright, so I'm going to take my Stampin' Buddy and just tap it over here. Just cuts down on the static. I will admit, a lot of times I forget that, so. Alright, we're going to try to do both of these at the same time. We'll see how it works. So our 4, whoops, and our 0. Let's separate them a little bit because I'm going to cut them out. And then I was trying to decide, so I don't know if I want to go with silver or copper or clear. I think I'm going to go with silver, and we'll do like a mixed metals look. So hopefully this will turn out pretty well. We'll see. So we'll do silver. If not, I may regret it and have to make another card later. Alright, so you do want to have a little something to catch your paper or your embossing powder so you can put it back in. And if you don't like it the way it fills out, you can always re-scoop it. And then just give it a tap. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in, but I'm not going to put it far because we're going to use this over again. So we'll see. Oops, we'll see how we like it. And, you know, as usual, I'm sure they probably will love it. I just still be critical of it because you know how we are as crafters. We're our own worst enemy. So I'm going to just heat set this. And it just takes a minute to warm up. And then you'll see. And you can do this. I'm going to do it from the bottom so you guys can see it. Just see how this turns. This is the technique that really got me into stamping. So cool. This is what sold me when I started stamping. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this just for a second just to let it dry, and we're going to do it again. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to ink up, and this is great for using the photopolymer. So we're going to ink up the 4, stamp it on top, ink up the 0, stamp it on top, and then we're going to do it one more time. And what this kind of does is it creates like a thicker version of this. And I think some people do this with the eclipse technique, which is also super cool. I apologize if my head's in there. So basically you can either build up layers by cutting multiple layers of cardstock, or you could re-emboss it. I can't remember who I saw do this, but I thought it was the coolest thing, and I thought, how in the world have I not thought of this idea? Alright, so same thing again. We're just going to pour our silver over top one more time. Okay, and then just give it a shake around. Okay, tap off the excess. And as you can see now, it lost that shine. It's dull again because it has the embossing powder on top of it. So let me pour this back in. That's the only thing with this. You have to make sure your work surface is super clean, because if you accidentally emboss that pile, you might cry. So here we go again. I'm going to heat this up again. There it goes. This one's going much faster this time. Alright. And I don't know if I would do that one more time. Let me just heat this one spot just a little. Okay, so for the sake of not making this super long, hey Christina, I'm going to cut it now because I'm sure you guys don't want to watch this. But what I might do is, after the fact, I might disconnect these and then just emboss it one more time. Hi Rebecca. And then put it. It does have a couple little bumps, but honestly it's not anything that's going to be too terrible that you're going to really notice. So what we're going to do is grab the Big Shot one more time, and we're going to cut these out. And this is using the large numbers, and this comes with 1 to 9. You get 9 and 6 are the same number, in case you think you got gypped on one. That's just the way it is. And then I also just recently got the alphabet, because someone in our last fall, it was like a fall back to school blog hop, did one with it's like a chalkboard, and then they had the letters ABC. I bought that. I bought the alphabet set after that because that card was so dear. I'd been holding out and I finally got it. All right, so we're going to just crank this through. All right, and pop these out. So here you have your 4 and your 0, and they are a slight bit off, but it kind of makes like almost like a halo effect. So I don't mind it. If you don't like it, you could always trim it up a little bit. So let me move this over, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do for the rest of the card. We might do a little bit more embossing on the inside. So basically we have, and if you want to stick with the same thing, and you're afraid the silver is not going to look good, you could always cut your 4 and 0 out of the champagne. That would be pretty as well. So we're going to have our 4 and 0 here, but I think we need a little bit of something to distinguish it. And I feel like I have, like, here's a part of a doily. This might make it pretty, but what I think I want to do is I'm going to do a little bit of, just because it's light, smoky slate. It's almost like the closest we have to like a silver-ish. So I'm going to just sponge the edges just with a teeny bit of smoky slate. So just a Stampin' sponge. And I'm going to just go to the edge just to give a little bit of separation. And I'm not going to do it on the base card. I'm going to just do it on this one. Okay, and the other thing, I'm thinking we have some really pretty, where are they? So this one's really great. This has silver, like a silver thread running in this ribbon. And then we also have the silver sequin. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of this to the back of it. Thank you, Alice. I hope it turns out the way I want, because, you know, sometimes when you make things, they're not exactly how you think they're going to be. All right, so what I'm going to do is, we also have always and forever. So I was toying with doing the Mr. and Mrs. forever, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do them on the inside, and I'm going to emboss them. And then the hearts, that would be another cute thing to do on the inside. We'll do those as well. Maybe in like a really, you could do those in powder pink because they'll be pretty pale. All right, so we're going to emboss these on the inside. Another thing you could always add to the inside too if you wanted to is you could do the little tree stump. This is really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over one more time, and this is going to be on the inside of our card. Move these out of the way. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the hearts afterwards. That way it doesn't get messed up. Hi, Trudy. Hi, Mary. So it doesn't get messed up and actually emboss something that I don't want embossed. So once again, I'm just going to do the embossing buddy just to cut down on the static. Although it has been so dry here, I really don't think there's that much static. Today is the first day we've had our windows open, and I can't even tell you how long, because we had probably one of the coolest Augusts I can even remember. And then all of a sudden, about partially into September, the next thing you know, we had a heat wave. So it has been, all the plants outside are dying. It's crazy. But it's really nice today, except it's super windy. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we will do Mr. and Mrs. And you know what? This will be a great time if you have a dirty Versamark pad versus a clean one. Hi, Donna. It might pick up a little bit of the darkness so you can see where you stamp, and it doesn't affect anything, just in case you're worried. I don't even know if it's going to pick up any of the dirtiness, but all right, so we'll go up here a little bit. Mr. and Mrs. Oh, see? You can almost see that. And then forever, and then I'm going to dump my silver again. Actually, not too bad, Rachel. Good job. Let's see. Where the heck is my silver? You can also, if you're wanting a specific color and we don't have it, if you really ink up your ink pad, so if you had, like, for example, I did this the other day in Real Red. I inked this up and then I used clear, and then you can have whatever color it is that you want embossing powder. Let me see if I get just this teeny little. Okay, so let me just dump this in, and this will be the last time you have to hear the heat tool, hopefully. All right. Okay, so one more time. I'm going to heat this from the bottom so you guys can see it again. You can heat from the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter. Another hello from Wisconsin. Hi, Wisconsin. This is so cool. I mean, even still, just to this time, it gets me every single time. Hi, Nancy. Come on, where am I heating? There we go. So neat. All right, let me get the rest of this done. I think embossing is my absolute favorite thing. It's so pretty. Look how pretty that is. So pretty. I love it. Hi, guys. Okay, so sometimes you'll notice too that this will get a little wonky and it'll be bent. So if you kind of heat the whole thing all over, it'll unbend your card. So you just kind of hit it from both sides. It'll straighten it out a little bit. And give it a second also before you touch it, because one time I made the dumb mistake of swiping my finger and it did burn and it messed up the whole thing. So just give yourself a second. All right, so what we're going to do is figure out what we're going to do with our hearts. Where did I put them? Here they are. So we'll do the hearts in powder pink, just because that should make it like pretty light colored. Or you could do, Blushing Bride would be pretty too. I think Pink Pirouette would be a little bit too light. Let's see, yeah. So we'll do just some hearts. Maybe down here. I've heard in threes looks prettier, so we'll go with those. But this would be really, if this was something that you really wanted to hit a lot of the embossing powder with, you could do these in clear. But yes, it is an ouch. You were absolutely right about that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to fold this closed. Let me just go with my bone folder one more time. And I'm just going to go down Okay, and we're going to adhere. So we have our champagne panel, and I have really, oops, except for that one, gotten used to using the fast fuse. I think it has such a better stick. I know a lot of people don't like it, and I didn't like it at first. I went through a whole thing of it before I got it to work. But I really like the fast fuse. I'm going to put this up on a dimensional just because I think it'll give it a little bit more interest and height. And what the heck? Yeah, so that's the deboss side. I'm at the end of my dimensional pack here. I'm using my leftover dimensionals from a paper pumpkin. I use everything here like good to the last drop. These are great too for side pieces. If you have like something skinny that you want to adhere. If you don't want to use dimensionals on this, I would suggest using liquid glue, the Tombow liquid glue, because just with the different variations of texture, it makes it kind of hard to stay. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for joining. All right, so let's just peel these off, and then we got to figure out what we're going to do with the front, with the 40. All right, so again, that was with the Softly Falling. And then we have our 40. And I think I'm going to put them, instead of right next to each other, I think I'm going to stagger them. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use glue dots. If I can remember where I put them. There they are. Sorry, I had a party the other day. I had a club party with my ladies, and sometimes I don't put my supplies away as quickly as I should. All right. That looks fun. I'm trying to think if this will be, I don't know. This is almost like gets lost into there. So maybe we'll just make it simple. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this as well. So I'm going to use the rest of my strips here. And we'll use a strip here. And I'm just going to put a little, there's like a lot of little pieces left. A little piece on each side. Take these off. And I think I still might add a little bit of the silver sequin. If I want to do the silver sequin or that silver ribbon. So I'm going to put this here, but I'm not going to put it there yet. I want to figure out what I want to do. I don't know if I want to use this. No, I think I'm going to use this because it'll be a little bit more like festive party-like. So took the doily away. You like doilies? Back in the drawer. I know. I can never find them. That's the problem. Let's see. We'll snip this off. I mean, if you guys think it looks better with the doily, I don't know. I just feel like with doilies, and it could just be me, I never know where to put them. I feel like when I use them, they never look how I think they should look. They're never, like, enough. Pretty enough, or on there enough, or what. Let's see if we do this like this. It's like a half fan. Down the bottom. If we did that, we put this on. Like, I really like the way doilies look, but I feel like, I don't know, I think I'm just very critical of them. That I don't like the way I do them is probably the better. That might look kind of pretty. You know what? All right, for you, I'm going to keep the doily. I'm going to figure out a way. So let me put, I'm going to do a little liquid glue on this because I tend to rip them. Just going to spread a little bit around on the back. I tend to rip them, and then that's probably why I don't have any doilies, because they're all ripped in half somewhere. All right, so we're going to put this on here near the bottom. And then I want to put this. I think I'm going to have to do this with, my fingers are sticky enough that it will stick, but I'm going to do this with glue dots, the little ribbon. One. I probably won't be able to get it off of my fingers now. Put that so it sticks out a little better. Okay, and then this. I don't know. You know what else would look really pretty on this? It's that really thin metallic thread That would look really, really pretty. The thin metallic thread. You never know where to put doilies. I know, because I never, you know, I mean, like right now it blends in a little bit. When you see the card, you can see it like up close, but it does get a little lost in there. However, the thin silver ribbon would look really, really pretty as well if you don't like this, if this is too much. You could definitely do the silver metallic thread. You could wind it in a circle or an oval and then kind of loosen it up and put it underneath. That would be really pretty as well. So there's another alternative for you. Thank you guys for all the hearts and the likes. I really appreciate that. So let me know what you think. Another option, if you wanted to bring a little bit of this pink to the outside, is you could ink up your sponge and just lightly go over this with the powder pink. That way this would have a little powder pink to it instead. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I love the metallic stuff too. That is my absolute favorite. So I hope they'll like this card. I'm pretty sure they will. And again, just in case you missed it, if you don't like the silver, because it's silver, so they do kind of go together, even though this isn't silver, you could cut your 4 and your 0 out in the champagne foil instead. That'd be another really great option for you. So I will post this to the blog, but again, I told you in the beginning, I am kind of running behind. I'm kind of running way behind. I actually still have to make my son's birthday card, and his birthday is Saturday. I'm such a bad mom. Bad stamper. Bad stamper. I make so many cards. Ruby is for 40th. You know, that's Cherry Cobbler would have done really well as well, but I was just trying to go for like a nice classic looking card, Diane. I really am last minute. So I don't know. Ruby would be really pretty. Even embossing it with the Cherry Cobbler, that would have been really pretty as well. Maybe I'll have to slip him a fake ruby ring in there or something. But I still have to make my son's birthday card. I have to work on that now, actually. His birthday party is Cars 3, so I'm going to have to figure out how to make a Cars 3, like a Lightning McQueen punch art card, which is usually what I do for him for his birthday. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I made him some really cool cards. I made him a train, a stand-up Thomas card. See if they have those handy. Hold on one sec. Show you. This is so last year he had a fire truck party. So that's his card from last year. So I just kind of cut it all out from pieces and made that one. And then this was his first birthday party. He had a pirate party. Granted, he was a little too young to remember, but that just goes to show you how long we've had that hardwood stamp in, because this is from then. And with the owl punch, that was super fun to make. And then in the middle, I did a Thomas card. So I made that as a stand up and made the rails. So see, that's the problem, is I've made these so well that I set the bar entirely too high. So I have to get myself working and make a Lightning McQueen card. That's what I have to work on today. I was going to try to do Cruz Ramirez, because that is his favorite person in the new Cars 3 movie. But thank you, Yvonne. I appreciate that. Now, if only I could actually finish it, I'll be good to go. So thank you guys, as always, for stopping in and joining me on this little live. I appreciate you giving me all the hearts and everything. That was really, really awesome. Thank you so much. Again, I am going to put a picture of this on my blog, and maybe I might make another one with an alternate, and I might switch out the sequins and do that metallic thread instead. So I hope you guys have a great day. As always, if you haven't followed, you can find me on here on Facebook. If you hit the follow button, it'll tell you when I'm live. So what you have to do is there's like a little button that you click, and it'll say, do you want to be alerted the next time she goes live? So if you click that or share this with your friends, I would really, really appreciate it. And you can find me, as always, on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at Rachthestamper. I'm also on YouTube. And if you have anything that you want to get, you can hit the store up 24/7, rachthestamper.stampinup.net. And if you ever have a question, please feel free. You can shoot me an email at rachthestamper@gmail.net. I try to get back as soon as I can, which usually is at least in the same like few hours or so. Thanks for sharing, Sally. I appreciate it. I hope you guys all have a great day, and thanks for watching.